Hello and welcome to the show that brings you the best mix of Watersports around. Coming up this week, highlights from the Group A class and round 5 of the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. We're back in Australia for continued coverage from the Moomba Masters. We'll have women's synchro diving from the Summer Universiade, but first it's to Sweden for sailing action from the 44 Cup World Championships.
Welcome to the Swedish West Coast sailing mecca of Marstrand Island, home waters for Artemis Racing and hosts of the 2019 44 Cup World Championship. With the stage set on Marstrand Island, its wild rocky landscape and magnificent weather conditions offer a unique experience for the crews at sea and ashore.
Marstrand's beautiful. I haven't been here for about 5 years, but I've been wanting to come back ever since, and it's beautiful. Great people, great location. It's a very quiet little town, but it's very friendly people. It's amazing. Marstrand's a very key destination for sailing around the world. Whenever I think of sailing in Sweden, I think of Marstrand and all the racing they do here. It's very unique in that we often, even today, we'll be out there, we'll do a race that finishes inside the harbour next to the castle. It's a beautiful race, and I'm really looking forward to that one.
For the first 3 days of competition at the 44 Cup Marstrand World Championships 2019, it was a game of snakes and ladders, with almost every crew hitting the very top and the very bottom of the results table. Least inconsistent by the penultimate day was Chris Bake and his Team Aqua, who made the best of the unusually light conditions and strong tide to go into the final racing day with a comfortable 8-point lead. Close competition is what makes the 44 Cup stand out. The owners at the helm have some of the world's top sailors by their side to advise them, such as Artemis Racing's match racing world champion Andy Horton.
The first time I sailed, my parents tell me I was 2 weeks old on a boat called the Thistle in the United States. And my dad had built the boat. It's a wooden boat, and of course I don't remember it. And then I really got into sailing when I was 6 or 7 at a local club in the United States. I grew up in Vermont in the United States, in the mountains, in the snow and ice. Not a whole lot different from Sweden probably. So everybody played football and soccer and basketball, and no one understood what I did. But personally, it was so cool to get out on the water as a kid and be independent and be able to look and say, I want to go over to that island or to that rock and go swim and tip over and fish and all of that. And that was what I think intrigued me the most about it. But no one really understood what I did. It was always my hobby and what I enjoyed to do and loved to do. And then at some point when I was 20, it looked like I could probably make a living at it. And I said, I'll give it till I'm 30, because I studied biology in university. And when I was on my 30th birthday, I was at an America's Cup tryout, which is about a month long. So I said, if I get this job, I guess I'll continue on a little longer, and I got the job. And now I'm older than that, and I'm still going.
Back to the racing, and Team Aqua, overall leader at the start of the final day, had a tough first race and at one point was last. Salvaging a 6th left Chris Bake's team 4 points ahead of second-placed Team CREF going into the very final race. In this, some pre-start match racing enabled Team Aqua to shovel Team CREF over the line early. Finishing in 5th place was enough for Team Aqua to claim this 10th anniversary World Championship by 4 points from Team Nika, with Artemis Racing a further 4 points astern. Both Team CREF and John Basadoni's Peninsula Petroleum finished 1 point off the podium, with Team CREF claiming 4th overall on countback.
First ever World, so I feel really good about it. It sort of feels a bit unlikely with the fact I wasn't able actually to sail on Wednesday. One of our crew, Ben Graham, was sailing, steering, and then yesterday was a good day, the boat was going really well. Today was just really tough, really shifty, really patchy, tricky day, but good, the boat was going well, so really happy.
The next stop on the 2019 44 Cup will be in Cascais, Portugal, notorious for its strong winds and mountainous Atlantic waves.
Next, we bring you highlights from round 5 of the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships.
Round 4 of the Altherm Window Systems 2017 New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships was held at the Riverside Jet Track in Crownthorpe, about 35 kilometres out of Hastings. Just as he did at Waitera's Round 3, it was Hamilton's Ollie Silverton in PSP Racing that took the win in Stinger Group A. So if you have a look at the points, it is Ollie Silverton on top, but just by the nearest of margins from Neil Marshall with Simon Gibbon. Round 5, the venue was Shelter View Jet Sprint Track in Wanganui, and with one round left to go in the championship, after here, this had the potential to be a game changer. And while the qualifying would be in the daylight, the all-important eliminations would be raced under lights. A whole new perspective for crews and the thousands of spectators present.
Once the light gets turned on, everything changes. The times go down and there's a whole different game plan comes into play.
It's always going to be hard in the dark no matter what. So if you're struggling with your rotation in the daylight, it's going to be a shocker at night.
We're not phased whether it's dark or raining, so as long as we're all doing the same thing, it just makes it exciting, and then who's going to keep their foot in and who's not.
For the Canterbury pairing of Simon Gibbon and Paul Thompson in Novus Autoglass, it had literally been a game of two halves. It's been a seasons of sort of troubles for you guys, still coming third, so obviously there's been some consistency.
Yeah, we've just got the boat going better and better and better, so and hopefully it's going to pay off at the end of the season. So good result here, and then down south into Wanaka and hope to be on the top of that step.
We battled our way through to the final 5 here last year, so hopefully if we can do that again and then be in position 1, 2 or 3, I'll be really happy.
A good result here could change everything.
Yeah, it could. It's, for us though, it's really depending on what happens with Neil and Ollie. You know, they have to be down the rankings tonight to set us up for the Wanaka round to hopefully finish it off nicely. So.
The Neil he referred to was Taranaki's Neil Marshall, the Stinger Boats Group A points leader until round 4.
So far we're going okay today. We're trying another set of blades, which I'm going to throw out again now, go back to my other good old faithfuls and hopefully pick the time up. But then in saying that, it's going to be dark when we run next time, so it's going to be a hard one to know whether what changes are really the right changes now. Sometimes you're actually better off to settle with what you've got and run a consistent boat for the whole night and just see what happens. I'm expecting there'll be a few changes once it comes dark. People will be getting lost, get the rotations wrong. All of a sudden there's an island where you didn't realise there was an island.
For points leader Ollie Silverton, with back-to-back wins in the last 2 rounds, the pressure would be on, but this time it would be a different kind of pressure, one he and navigator Jess Sitt had never felt before.
Oh yeah, I think after a couple of round wins, you certainly get a target on your back pretty quickly, and Group A's been like this all year. I mean, it's been sort of half a second over the top 5 boats, so yeah, we were expecting it all along.
With such close racing in Stinger Boats Group A, any mistakes would certainly be punished in the darkness.
Yeah, the lights are getting better and better every year. Tonight's going to be an unknown. Apparently there's more lights, but until they get turned on, and we haven't seen them yet, so until they get turned on, we won't know until then.
For the confidence that comes from winning and a spot-on setup, Ollie and Jess would be pushing hard right from the very start.
The harder we push this boat, the better it goes and the better it feels. We sort of went out pretty easy in the first one, went out with the same intention of the second one, but the thing just likes being buried, so if I start driving it any different, it starts doing funny things on me and I don't like it, so you've got to be pushing for it to work well.
Also pushing hard, 4th place in the series, Rick Burke and Alf Kill. The darkness held no fears for the Hamilton combo. After all, they'd won their World Championships in it in 2016.
How close is the racing in Group A?
Too close. No, it's really good, and that's what that class of the sport is all about. It's about getting the driver and getting the setup of the boat, because we basically eliminate horsepower as a equation. So it's really good to see.
The boys qualified well and would head into the darkness in 3rd, but would the speed hold up at night?
Visibility definitely goes away considerably, and it really comes down to making sure you get all your markers right during the daylight. So you just hunt for those, and hopefully you can keep your times up. yourself as a navigator, are the white tyres going to be a help or a hindrance?
Well, we've scrubbed a few today, and they all seem to be on my side. So, yeah, it'll be interesting as the sun drops and we go into darkness. Yeah.
There's different heights and there's different types of tyres, and you can spot some of them and you use them as markers because they're the only thing you're going to be able to see at the end of it, to be honest. We did a couple of changes to the boat and we're sitting in third now, so we're not too bad at all.
With a reputation as a game changer, Shelter View was always going to catch someone. And in the first elimination, that someone just happened to be Neil Marshall and Michelle Reid.
Just the, like I said earlier on, the night throws the cat amongst the pigeons. We were actually going pretty good up till then, and I just misjudged the corner, turned in probably about 1.5 meters too soon, and we saw the results.
So with no Neil Marshall making the top 8, that is going to shuffle the points a little bit. Cy Gibbon and Paul Thompson, though, lead as we head into the 5. Carl Brensel in Maroon 2 was marooned after this, out in the top 8. Bad luck for the man from Tapanui.
Oh, it's a big spin!
Harry Whelans and Jason Conroy and Usain Bolt had a 55.394 here in the 8, but just missed out on the 5. Consistency had meant that Andy Ryan and Carrie-Anne Ellen had again made the top 8. The run was looking good until they put it on the grass on the way home. Ollie Silverton had been a hair off his usual high pace in the top 12, but here he more than made up for it. Fastest in the 8 with a 53.428. Also going fast in the 8 with a 53 were Rick Burke and Elf Kill in Firewater. Their 53.896 keeping them in touch with the leaders and into the finals. Bevan Muir and Kendra Death also booked their place in the top 5, but only just. Their 54.083, the last time to make the 5-boat final. For Shane and Ross Travers, 53.766 in the 12 meant they were second quickest going into the 8, but there, a little off the pace 54.264 top 8 time saw them do enough to make the final 5. Second fastest behind Ross Travis in qualifying, fastest in the top 12 and second fastest here in the 8 with the 53.786 meant Cy Gibbon made the top 5 final with the second quickest time. The podium beckoned. So as we move into the top 5, once again it is Ollie Silverton on top from Cy Gibbon and Paul Thompson, Rick Burke and Elf Kill in third, and then it's Bevan Muir in fourth from Ross Travers.
There's more jet sprinting after the break, and still to come, action from the Moomba Masters, and later we go diving in Italy. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the show, as now we continue our highlights from round 5 of the New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships.
Well, we started with 13 and now we've cut them down to 5. Ollie Silverton and Jess sits it on top. Ross Travers doing a pretty good job there as well at his home track. It will be Travers the first to go. He is a past New Zealand Group B champion. He took that title in 2015. He's currently 5th in the points in Stinger Boats Group A. He knows the waters of Wanganui well. In fact, this is where he got his introduction into the sport, through the haranguing, I guess you'd say, of Richard Murray and also Pat Dillon. Came down and had a go and was absolutely hooked. He's got a motorsport background though, ridden sidecars both on the dirt at Speedway and road racing. It's a bit of a stock car stalwart as well. 25.457 at the split for Ross and Shane Travers, his father-son combination. Best time so far, 53.766, and the split was just a little bit slower from what we saw. So they're on target to go better than the 53.766, and that will put them in the hunt. Still a lot of fast boats to go though. Remember, when we cut them down to the eliminations, it's the slowest that go first. Working their way up towards the finish line now. Are we going to see another sub 54? We are. 53.575 for Ross and Shane Travers. The boat is radioactive. This is Bevan Muir and Kendra Death. This is 10 Tools Racing. It's a Stinger hull with a Chevy. Kendra is a car painter from Thames. Bevan is a sales manager at Valley Toyota. Been around for a long, long time. First in the Group A class back in 2009 and 2010. Third in 2014, so he's missed a consistency. Kendra standing in for Bev's wife, Kathy, and doing a pretty good job of it too. 25.275, so faster than what we saw from the Travers. So Bevan Muir and Kendra Death doing a pretty good job at the moment. Looking to go quicker than the 53.575 that Ross and Shane Travers set in the first of the 5. From 5, we'll cut them down to 3. This looks like a pretty good run. You're on board here. Kendra just urging her driver on as he works his way down towards the finish. Another 53-second clocking. No, blows out just a little bit. 54.318. So Ross and Shane Travers survive another run. This is the current world champions in Stinger Boats Group A. This is Rick Burke and Alf Kill out of Hamilton. The boat is Firewater 222, or as they more commonly like to be known, W1 or 3NZ, because that's where they finished in the title chase last year. They're currently 4th in the points. Top 12 time was a 54.341. Top 8 was a 53.896. What are we going to see here? They need to be 23 or better at the split, I would think, to be in the hunt, and they're not going to be. 24.974. So now they're really going to have to rattle it along home if they want to beat the time set by the father and son combination, Ross and Shane Travers. You're on board here with Firewater. Rick Burke, Alf Kill doing the job and doing it well. They said they hold no fears in the darkness, so they're kind of approaching their qualifying times. Normally you see the qualifying time a little bit quicker than what we see in the eliminations. This way it's the other way around. Heading down towards the finish line now. What's it going to be? Are they going to be in the 53s? Well, they did rattle it home. 53.617 puts them sitting in 2nd place at the moment. So this is the 4th competitor of Stinger Boats Group A here at the penultimate round of the Altherm Window Systems New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championship. This is Cy Gibbon and Paul Thompson. Novus Auto Glass is the boat. Now, they haven't been entirely happy with the performance of the boat right throughout the season, but it's been consistency that keeps them in the top of the points. So they're doing a pretty good job, and they're nice and clean through the hairpin as well. That's one of the money corners here at Shelter View. It takes on a whole new perspective, I'm sure you'll agree, in the darkness. What's the split time going to be? 24.852. That's the fastest split we've seen. So they're on target once again to stand on maybe the top step of the podium. The boat looks very good on the water. You ride with them here as they work their way down towards the finish. Time to beat is that of Ross and Shane Travers at 53.575. Are they going to be able to do it? Oh, and that one cost them a little bit of time, and they nearly kissed the tyre wall. So that's going to slow them just a little bit. You see the boat get a little bit untidy as it crosses its own weight. Now heading down towards the finish. 53.575 to beat. They don't beat it. Ranks them 3rd.
She's hard work out there, eh? It's bogged down in the last couple of runs in the hairpin, and that's all. So, no, we're happy. The boat's one piece to head home.
So this is the points leaders in Stinger Boats Group A. This is Ollie Silverton and Jess Sid. The boat is PSP Racing. It is a Sprint Tech hull with the Magnum Automotive Group A engine in the back of it. John Mincham and the team has put a fair bit of time into the engine and the preparation of this boat, and it's beginning to show because Ollie and Jess, as I said, sitting on top on the points. Have a look at the split time, 24.754. That's the fastest we've seen this afternoon, this evening here at Wanganui. So RPSP Racing going to claim another title here, working their way down towards the finish line now. Ollie Silverton, Jess Sit, couple of corners still to go. Oh, and they whacked the island. You can see from the spray. Oh, and there's something gone wrong at the back of the boat, something hanging off the jet unit, or is it the reverser sitting down? I'm not sure, but this is going to cost them. It's going to cost them power, it's going to cost them speed. You can see something flapping at the back of the boat. 53.597, pretty good time considering, but a problem at the back of the boat for Ollie Silverton. Have a look at it again on the replay. They just skipped the edge of the island. The weight comes up and it's done some real damage at the back. Looks like the cover over the jet unit. Well, Ollie Silverton and Jess Sit claim second, but it is Ross and Shane Travers getting the win here at Wanganui.
Couldn't ask for a better day once again. We knew they could do it, and it just proved it. We made a few muck-ups in the top 8, and I knew we still had a second there, which we picked up that second.
So he does it with a 53.575, does Ross and Shane Travers. That will change the points just a little bit, but it's Ross and Shane that get the maximum 30 here at the penultimate round of the championship. In second place, Ollie Silverton and Jess Sit. In third, Rick Burke and Alf Kill. And in fourth, it's Cy Gibbon. So now it is just 6 points separating Ollie Silverton from Cy Gibbon with 1 round to go, and that's at Wanaka.
Join us after the break as we head to Australia for continued action from the Moomba Masters, and later we go diving at the Summer Universiade in Italy. See you in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the show. We now return to Melbourne for ski and wakeboard action from the Moomba Masters.
Now to our next final, men's slalom. Opening competitor from Melbourne, Nick Adams. Well, he's completed 13 and 12. We pick him up on the 11.25 metre line. 58 kilometres per hour is the boat speed for men. And Nick Adams, a tall, lanky young man, turns around buoy 4. Oh, he's way on time for this. Great turnaround 5 and a little late out of 6, but totally under control now through the gates for Nick Adams. So that's 11.25. Now he's going to shorten up to 10.75 metres. Through the gates. Stretches, gets a good start around 1. Turns 2, great angle out of 2. Still working hard. Well, he's down course and the ski spins out from underneath and unfortunately 2.5 on the 10.75 metre line.
As we see him come into ball number 2, got a nice hook out of 2 though, a little bit on the back of the ski, tried as hard as he could to lean on that right shoulder, gets the ski around ball 3, does a bit of a turtle spin. I reckon he tried to hold on to that one there, Nick Adams, but unfortunately 2.5 on the 10.75.
Nick, skiing in front of your home crowd on Moomba Monday, what's it like out there?
It's awesome. You know, this is the best crowd in the world and best city in the world, so it was just awesome to take it all in the final. You know, nothing like Moomba Monday.
So we go now to our next competitor. Ben Stadelbauer of Switzerland has completed the 13, the 12, the 11.25. This is the 10.75 and unfortunately goes down around ball number 2, 1.5 on the 10.75 for Ben Stadelbauer. We go to another Australian in this field of 8. Tom Ryan needs to take the lead with more than 2.5. Turns ball 2 now, needs to get the ski around 3. He does, and back to the wakes. A new leader in this men's slalom final, Tom Ryan from Australia. 3 on the 10.75.
And Thomas Ryan, a happy boy there. We see a picture in the crowd, and there's his mum jumping for joy. Fantastic effort, Thomas Ryan. Well, Thomas de Gasperi now from Italy. A couple of the guys have had some problems on 10.75. Let's see what Thomas can do. Turns 1. That's a great start. Composed. Oh, the ski stood up a bit out of 2. He's going to have to work. He's down course at 3, but he won't give in. He turns around 4 and the ski stands up. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's way down course at 5, but Thomas de Gasperi somehow has managed to run the 10.75 metre line.
Oh, it looks like he may have hurt his back too a little bit there, but we'll see how he goes now on the 10.25. Let's see, he's your new leader. Let's see if he can put some pressure on the boys still to come. A little bit of a shaky start at 1. Gets the ski around 2. Waits for the pull of the boat. Back to the wakes before the boat, guys. So gets the full 2 on the 10.25. And your new leader, Thomas de Gasperi from Italy. And so as we go to replay, we see Thomas look like he got a fairly good start. Stood up a little bit when that rope is 1.25 of a metre shorter to reach the ball. Got the ski around number 2. Does an S-turn, makes sure that he makes it back to the wakes to give himself the completed 2 boys. Congratulations, Thomas de Gasperi. And now we go to the course record holder, broke it in the elimination round. Will Asher of Great Britain has high hopes in this event. He turns 1, looks great, gets great angle out of these boys, but he's, unfortunately, tried to take too much out of ball number 2. And a disappointing 1.5 on the 11.25.
Well, we take another look, Jared. He got a good start out of 1, gets that great angle and that pull we're so used to with Will. Plenty of time in the boy 2 and just basically overturned the ski and, well, that's a big shock and a boil over. Will Asher out of the competition at 11.25 metres.
Yeah, he would have been looking to be the favourite, but we go now to France. Sacha Deschutes of France. Onto the 10.75, turns 1. Oh, nearly lost the tip of the ski out of ball 1. Back on it, staying composed, trying to work his way down. There's 3, and unfortunately he's going to be inside 4. So Sacha will be heading home with 3 on the 10.75.
Now, Joel Howley, he's got his way through to the 10.25, so he's shooting for the lead. Turns around 1. Remember, the lead is 2. He gets to buoy 2. Oh, can he get back to the wake for the extra half a point? He doesn't. Well, he's just missed out by a hair's breadth. And Joel Howley, unfortunately, 1.5 on the 10.25 metre line, but it puts him into second place.
And you see the difference between what we saw from Thomas. Unfortunately there for Joel, didn't make it back to the wakes before the next set of boat guides, so that's why he only was scored the 1.5.
Now Nate Smith, course record holder or co-record holder. Let's see what we can do now. Turns around 1. He gets to 2. And if he can get back to the wake, he does. Oh, we have a runoff on our hands. So he's tied with Thomas de Gasperi. We go to a runoff situation. Nate Smith from the USA and Thomas de Gasperi from Italy.
Well, you couldn't write a story like this, Rob. And here we go. We watched Nate Smith. We thought he'd just get a nice start here. Again, down course as we saw from Thomas. Gets a little bit of slack line, but tries to get his ski all the way up and around. Did he get around ball number 2? Makes the S-turn and back to the wakes, as we saw from Thomas, and 2 boys on the 10.25. And we are going to have the runoff, Rob. So first up will be Thomas de Gasperi of Italy.
Okay, well, he must surely try and run this complete pass. He comes in on the 10.75 metre line. The big Italian. Eyes off boy 1. Gets a good start. Gets to buoy 2, turns 2, overturns 2, and 1.5. Well, I think you'd have to say that won't be enough with a seasoned veteran, Nate Smith, still on the dock to ski in this run-off.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Anything can happen here at the Moomba Masters. But Thomas here just reached for number 2 and unfortunately tried to take too much, and at 1.5 on the 10.75. So the story's set here for Nate Smith. Needs to get more than 2 buoys to take the win. Can he do it here and claim another Moomba Masters title? No, he's gone down around ball number 1. Oh, devastating here for Nate Smith. So your 2019 Moomba Masters men's slalom champion from Italy, Thomas De Gasperi.
Well, time and time again, we've seen Nate Smith do it when it counts, but today wasn't his day. Well, he looked pretty good at this point and just basically overturned the ski, knew he couldn't hang on to it, let go of the handle, and in the end, our winner is Thomas De Gasperi.
So for a third time, the Moomba Masters men's slalom champion is Thomas De Gasperi of Italy. In second place, Nate Smith of the USA, and taking home the bronze from Australia, Joel Howley. So as now we bring on our Nautique G23 for this women's wakeboard final. Our first competitor, Mary Morgan Howell of the USA.
Mary opened with a heel side back roll. Now shaping up toe side for her second trick. Toe side tootsie roll there. Judges looking for plenty of air, plenty of style, plenty of difficulty too. The KGB passing the handle around her back and got plenty of air too on that one. The G23 Nautique really helping these girls boot these tricks toe side off axis 360 to finish the pass.
We go now to pass number 2 for Beck Gange of Australia.
Yeah, Beck from Mildura opening up with a front side 540 spin. Looked like started from the toe side now on her second. That's a toe side 540 there for her second trick. Beck Gange, well, she's had some victories in America. She dearly loved to take out the Moomba crown, and that's a big Indy tantrum to blind and huge air on that one for Beck. Aggressively edging out. Now what's she going to do to finish? She needs some big points. Toe side, backside 180 to finish off for Beck Gange.
We go now to another Australian, Zara Kell, here on pass number 1.
Well, Zara opening with a tootsie roll. Her dad, Scotty, the official boat driver here. Now she comes in heel side, backside 360. Probably one of Zara's safer tricks, but putting on extra points. Comes in now front side 540. So starting to up the ante a little bit here is Zara Kell. Now, trick number 4 as she runs down to the city end. What can she do? And that's a big old whirly bird, and just butt checks. Drops a handle. Bad luck there for Zara Kell.
And after a great pass, this is pass number 2 for Taylor McCulloch of the USA.
Okay, tantrum to fakie. We're getting big air, these girls here. Now, what can she do on a second trick? Second trick, second pass. Toe side roll to revert. Fairly standard stuff for Taylor, I'd imagine. Coming now, puts a 540 out there, stomping a big 540. Let's see what she can do on her last trick. She only has time for one more and pops a 360 without huge air, but nonetheless, it's all points there for Taylor McCulloch. And we see Shane Bonifay there. Great to see the great man down here visiting at the Moomba Masters. There's a big front flip. I think she's grabbed the back of the board there. A few extra points. Now trick number 2 coming in toe side for a big toe side scarecrow. Well, Erica Lang getting huge air out here this afternoon on the Yarra in this women's wakeboard final. Comes in now heel side. That's a 540 degree spin. One trick to go. Comes in now heel side and another 540 to finish the run. Hands in the air, and she's happy with that is Erica Lang.
And here go your top seed in this women's wakeboard final, Megan Ethel of the USA.
Cutting aggressively, opens the account with a big whirly bird. Now coming in, toe side. Toe side, 540, spins the board 1.5 times in the air. Wakeboarding aggressively now is Megan Ethel. There's a Moby Dick. Just cases the wake a little bit on the way down, but no problems riding things out. The big G23 wake really booting the girls. See what she can do now. An off-axis 360. The handle pass and looking good on pass number 1. Megan Ethel. We pick her up again. Pass number 2. Coming in. Front side 540. Looking very solid here this afternoon. our top seed from the USA. There's a KGB. Big air. Well, most of these girls have been getting huge air off this Nautique wake here this afternoon. Now the toe side Tootsie Roll. One trick to go. Let's see what she can do. Pops to the heel side now. Edges in nice and aggressively. The heel side back roll for Megan Ethel to finish the run.
And who's going to take home the crown in 2019? The champion here behind the G23 Nautique, Megan Ethel from the USA with 93.33. In second place, Erica Lang from the USA. And again, taking home the bronze from Australia, Beck Gange.
More from the Moomba Masters over the coming weeks, but join us after the break. We'll bring you women's 3-metre synchro diving from the Summer Universiade. See you in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to the show. We now take you to Italy for 3-metre women's synchro diving action from the Summer Universiade.
Welcome to the diving pool for the 30th Summer Universiade here in Napoli. I'm Chris Snowd and we'll be taking you through the finals of the women's 3-metre springboard synchro competition. So there's the lineup on your screen: Germany, Russia, Australia, China, USA, Mexico, Korea and Canada. Dive planks. So Snen to the right and Leng to the left. Oh, different lineup altogether. There's the reach up, open pike, shows their flexibility, good. Beautiful line from both of the divers. Are into the 8.5s for the synchronization. So with that dive, the Chinese go into the lead. Two teams to go in round 2. Korea up next, currently in 4th. Yeah, fantastic synchronization from the Koreans. Face very close to the legs on the pike. Perfect landing from both ladies on the end of the board. Arms lining up at the same time, locking out exactly the same distance from the board. And they'll take that 47.4. Good synchronization scores, 8s from all the judges. Russia in 3rd, in with 2.5 somersaults pike. is in the tuck position, so 2.7 degree of difficulty, and performed it well. The key to the inward is not jumping back. You don't want to be too close to the ball, but if you jump back, you lose height. Perfect distance, very tight on the entry. It'll be slightly lower degree of difficulty because of the tuck, and a little lower score because of that, but still they're able to get into the 60s, the first team to do so. 62.37. Good synchronization scores there. They deserve that. 8s from the judges. China, current leaders, but only by 0.6. Performing in with 2.5 somersaults pike. Schnell closest to us. Oh, low finish to the water and a little bit short of vertical. Both of the ladies didn't get the power off the board. First somersault needs to keep traveling up. Here, not very high, having to squeeze tight to get the dives around, finishing just about a metre above the water. Synchronization is good though, but just about making it. Judges giving them good scores, 67.50. Synchronization was good. You can see the execution scores, 6.5s and 7s. Mexicans. Just a bit splashy going through the water. That's unfortunate because the dives were good. You see the drive, the hard push with the legs and the throw down the diving board. But look at that, both divers at angles. I'm not sure the judges will pick it up. Maybe. Sometimes divers do that instinctively if their feet have come too close or they've hit in the past. So, with 2 teams missing and the Americans in 5th, they've got a chance with their 3.5 somersaults tuck. Oh, it's brilliant, 3.5 from both of them. And what synchronization. I watched the landing and they went down together. There was no stamp of the board. They feel comfortable here. They're squeezing on their triples, see the water and punch for it. Good 3.5s from both Lenz and Schulte. And it's the highest score of this round, 60.48. Let's jump them up to 2nd place for now. Good effort from the Americans. Not quite 8s on the synchronization, but so close. Mexico. The pressure now. Beautiful dives from the Mexicans. Well, they'll be looking to go into the 60s. Should be able to get it. 3.0 degree of difficulty. And they performed it well. Good action here, lovely pike, no crimp legs, no bend of the knees in the pike, good lockout, spotting the board, their feet have gone up at the board and then reaching back. And it is the highest score in this round and the 2nd highest score of the competition, 64.80. Canada doing well. Not too many points behind. Back 2.5 somersaults pike. Well, I was watching Bali, just a bit slow with her pickup. Mandy, a little short on the entry as well as Bali. They've got a good action. This whippy action where the legs come up fast, just need a little bit more jump. Could have pulled in a bit tighter, both of them there. Yeah, it's going to be in the 50s, 56.70. So that keeps them in 4th place. Just barely getting to the 7s for the synchronization. So with 4 rounds gone and with just 1 to go, China have lost a huge lead. It's just down to 0.3 to the Mexicans. USA way back, and it's very close between them and Canada. Germany not out of the running yet, but Russia is going to be more difficult, and it's going to struggle for Korea and Australia back in 7th and 8th. China, so close. 2.5, 1 twist. Oh, it's good. It's very good. It's going to be in the 60s. Another pair that are really riding the board. Ball catapults them up in the air. Single twist. Just a small mistake, legs coming apart and then going back together again. Finishing just under the board. And just about vertical entry. 64.80. 288 is what the Mexicans will have to do if they can go for a gold. Mexico in the past have won this event 3 times, China 6 times. USA now currently in 3rd. Final dive, forward 2.5 somersaults, 1 twist. Oh, it's really good. In fact, that was a better entry than the Chinese and the Australians. Good effort from Lenz and Schulte on their final dive. I'm sure this is going to secure a medal. What colour, we do not yet. Throwing good, single twist, no wobble there. Lining up, it's vertical. 64.80. So for the moment, USA are in 2nd place on 2.74, and that's just 14 points behind the Chinese. That's a good score. It's ahead of Germans, ahead of the Russians, ahead of the Australians. Just 3 teams to go. It's the Mexicans forward 2.5, 1 twist, and they're currently in 2nd. Wow, all these teams are performing the 2.5, 1 twist so well. Normally you get 1 that might drop, but we're seeing 3 great single twist in 2.5s. There's a throw, out at the same time, lovely twist, lining up, just hit the water at slightly different times, but the synchronization scores will be good. Will Mexico go ahead of America? They're on 2.74. The Americans are astounded, but the Mexicans have gone ahead of China. Final divers of the competition, Canada, who are in 4th place. Well, it's a bit splashy. Now, the Americans are on 2.74 and currently in 3rd place. And that's what Canada are trying to get past, but I'm not sure it'll be good enough. Splashy on the end. The Americans went 64 points. This won't score the same, just too messy. Well, look at that. 270, so just 4 points short of a medal for Canada, 4th place. But what an amazing competition. China came into this competition as the favourites. They've won it 6 times. Mexico, you can't rule them out because they've won it 3 times. And on the final dive, Mexico take gold from China, their 2nd gold of the competition. China, it's their 2nd silver, and they'll be disappointed with that. But what an amazing result for the Americans, picking up their 2nd medal, and it's a 2nd bronze medal.